Before this video begins, I wanted to mention that I was recently on PokéDown's channel playing Who Wants to Be a Poké-Millionaire, and it was a ton of fun. I suggest you guys check it out. And on Saturday the 24th of February 2018 at 8 PM GMT, I'll be live playing Pokemon Emerald using Ash Ketchum's Hoenn team, if you're interested. Links to these videos will be in the description, end card, and iCard. With that finally said though, I hope you enjoy this video. What's going on guys, I'm Maze, here with my review on the latest Pokemon Sun and Moon anime episode, episode 63, Blaze Litten, Overthrow Incineroar. With that title now said though, get relaxed everybody, as I will now jump right into this episode review. So the episode begins off with Ash turning on the TV to see a trainer called the Masquerail with his Incineroar participate in the battle format known as the Battle Royale, a 4-way Pokemon trainer battle. Even Litten gets interested in this as of course it sees its final evolution, which it actually wrecks all the Pokemon competing against it with its exclusive Z move. It was very nicely animated and epic to see for the first time. However, that of course will lose its effect the next time we see it, as Z-moves are just that boring to me after the first experience. Anyway, the Pokemon that are actually going against Incineroar were the fully evolved forms of Rowlet and Popplio, plus a random Machamp. But regardless of that Machamp, it was actually nice seeing the fully evolved starters finally make a debut in the anime, and the trainers that had them too fit the Pokemon designs very well. Obviously this was intentional, but I really like seeing how trainers and Pokemon look similar and share characteristics. I think that's obvious if you're a regular viewer due to how much I love Ash Greninja. But regardless, going back on track with this story, the Masquerail then announces to the home audience that tomorrow he will take on any member of the audience at Akala Island, which gets Ash really hyped and decides to travel to Akala Island with his classmates the next day, hoping he'll be able to battle him. On the actual day though, we then see a staff member of the Battle Royale looking for commentators, which Team Rocket decide to do this just so they can get the money, yet obviously we the audience know it's so they can get screen time in this episode. But come on, we all knew I could do it. That was a terrible joke, so putting that aside. Inside the venue, the Masquerail finally appears. However, Litten then runs up to the ring to encounter Incineroar, asking for a battle. It even finds out the Masquerail is of course Professor Kukui by recognizing its scent, which I really liked this as of course Litten was showing cat traits. Regardless of that though, Ash then runs up to the ring to get Litten back. However, the Masquerail decides that it will indeed battle Litten, as it showed it's determined to go against its Incineroar. The Masquerail then also invites Ash's friends, Kiori and Sophocles, to join the battle, and well, during it, Incineroar was just that powerful that it easily knocked down the classmates' Pokemon. I love how they all bounced off Incineroar's muscles at first. The rest of it though, it was shown in a comedic way, which I don't really like, but hey, that's how Sun and Moon is at times, so I won't complain that much. We gotta get used to change. And well, we get a full, epic, serious battle later on anyway. Regardless though, Ash's Litten was the only one left standing against Incineroar, taking all the hits like a boss, which makes the crowd then cheer for Litten. And this is where the Masquerail then believes it's trying to show Incineroar how strong it can be, and maybe even show it to Ash. Nice ambition actually from Litten. However, Incineroar was holding back its power, and once it uses its full power by grabbing Litten in the air, when it tries to perform a Fire Fang, it throat chops Litten, making Litten take an L. What an awesome strategy and moment though. But before we continue on, I wanna say, I'm salty. Not because of the loss, but because in the anime, the Battle Royale ends once 3 sides have lost Pokemon. Yet in the games, it's when the first trainer loses all of its Pokemon, which I hate. Why couldn't it have worked like it worked here in the anime? It would have been way better. Sorry, let's just continue on. I'm sure many can agree with me though. But Litten of course gets sad that it lost, and even Meowth nearby feels sympathy, but believes it can get stronger. I love how it shows care for Litten, simply because it's a cat. But regardless, Ash feels the same way, and actually finds out through Rotom that it looked like that it was actually trying to learn Flame Charging for battle. So from then on, Ash trains hard with Litten every day to ensure it learns this move, much like how it works with Rockruff and Overthrow, which Lycanroc actually decides to help Litten learn this move too, which is just adorable, as we all know how Litten and Lycanroc have a play-fight relationship. But bruh, I just love this episode alone for all the characteristics being shown through the Pokemon. It's beautiful. Except the return of this. Yeah, that's kind of there for comedic purposes, which overall makes me cringe, then laugh. I'm even cringing when doing this voiceover. But I'm sure kids would laugh at that though, but yeah, no, just ugh. I will admit though, with Sun and Moon's simplified character designs, it allows for more visual stories to be told, which this butt shaking is one of those examples, although I hate to say. But it makes me appreciate how the creators can make these kinds of visual stories with the new animation and art style. I've loved it in many other episodes, and I can still somewhat appreciate it here, although I still cringe. I just felt like I needed to say that so people wouldn't just bash this overall. Regardless of that though, this whole training was shown in a montage, which overall apart from that, it was beautifully done. It showed the relationship between Ash and his Pokemon perfectly, and it was just nice to see Litten shine. We even saw the character sing to Alola at times, the tune that was playing, which was also a nice touch to me, even if it was a fourth wall break. It just shows the silliness, compassion, and strong friendship from the Sun and Moon group. Talking about the Alola tune too, although it was shown nicely in the montage, I hope in the future we can hear a different tune than Alola, as it's been used so many times for montages now. It's getting boring, and there's many other possibilities for the creators to make. Ending off the montage though, Ash falls on the ground, which is a perfect way to end it. And well, what happens next is that the Mask Royale appears with Incineroar and asks for a battle against Ash and his Litten, to see if they have gotten better. Which of course with the Mask Royale being Kukui, he saw them training, I believe Ash was ready. Really nice touch. But Litten had not learnt Flame Charge fully yet. It was close, but Ash and Litten still agreed to the battle, thinking that they'll be able to pull off the move in the battle. And well, I'ma save my thoughts on this battle for later, but to put it simple, Ash and Litten got wrecked, Litten evolved into Torracat due to its determination, it learned Flame Charge fully, and it still lost against Incineroar. However, Ash and the Mask Royale really like how powerful Torracat has become, making the Pokemon happy. The Mask Royale then promises another battle in the future. Oh yeah, Ash also gave a great speech in the battle too about his and Litten's relationship, which I believe showed his character well. I can't express enough how awesome it was. And one final thing, it looks like the main character's Pokemon do evolve in a unique way too, whereas the non-main character Pokemon don't, which I think is a nice touch. But regardless of those thoughts, the episode then ends off with Brunette teasing Kukui about being the Mask Royale, which makes Torracat give this cute expression. Ah, I love you, Torracat. But anyway, with that story now said, let's now move on to my final thoughts of this episode. Firstly, for the story, I loved it. It's nothing too complex, but we finally got the episode Litten deserved. Before this episode, I thought Litten was pretty useless. It didn't do much and only had one or two cool moments after its capture, which made me really sad, as the build up for that capture was made fantastically well and showed a lot of hope for cool moments in the future, but it just never happened. In fact, I think it only had one episode of development, which was just it mastering Fire Fang, which was nothing too special to me anyway. But finally, we got this episode, which showed Litten's ambition of getting stronger amazingly, it showed his characteristics better than before, and of course, it gave epic moments, which I'm sure we all love to see in Pokemon. Yes, this anime is known for not having much battles, but every time we see one, unless it's interrupted, they are fantastic, giving awesome action. In fact, maybe I'd go as far to say that they pay more detail to battles in Sun and Moon due to them not showing them as much as other series, making sure the ones we see deliver excitement and epic moments. But still, I do prefer the old series battles. But still, like I said already, the battles in this episode did indeed give awesome action. Mostly the second one, which I haven't talked about yet, but let me tell you, I adored it so much. It had fast-paced action, nice camera angles to make you feel like that we're in for battle, and finally, it made me feel hype because of these reasons. Yes, it was pretty much flame charge only from Litten, which lacks strategy, but still, I found it to be a very awesome battle. By far, my favourite thing about this battle though is the ending. Litten evolving into Torracat, getting a lot faster, which you can see this through the animation, which is a brilliant touch, and getting more powerful, due to making a mark on Incineroar, which not even the fully evolved starters could do in the beginning of this episode. That's just shown a lot how powerful Ash's Torracat is, which makes me love this moment so much. Finally, the last reason why I love the evolution so much is because after it, Torracat still lost, which we hardly see happen in the anime. Usually after an evolution, it defeats the Pokemon. But nope, not this time around. So this was really refreshing and a satisfying ending for me. It just makes the Mask Royale look stronger too, making me hope that one day Ash and Torracat will finally defeat them in the future, making for a better, even more developed story. It gets me more hype. Overall, as you can probably tell now though, Litten's focus in this episode was just perfect to me and made me feel so much excitement with everything it did. I really loved how it evolved too. It kept the same personality as Litten, which is great, and of course, it gave the justice it needed, as of course like I said earlier, it felt useless as a Litten. One thing I've said in my discussions too though, is that people should stop complaining that we didn't see Litten do much, as it would do more as a Torracat. We've seen this happen many times before in the anime, one of the biggest examples for me being May and Torchic, who then became Combusken. She hardly used it as a Torchic, however when it became Combusken, she started using it a lot, which I bet Ash will do now too. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for my thoughts about Litten. Another thing I really like about this episode's story though, is how I could personally tell how much passion the creators put into it. This is a little weird to say, I know, but I just did, and it was such a wonderful feeling. Regardless of that though, let's now talk about the Mask Royale, as I forgot to talk about his character earlier on. This was the best place I could find to put him in. But anyway, I loved him so much. It gave Kukui more to his character, making him be portrayed as an epic, cool dude, which I really like. Also, I actually find it funny how he's able to be a teacher, the Mask Royale, and even a family man all at the same time. I wish I could do that much. Also, I might as well say this too. I like how the classmates are oblivious of Kukui being the Mask Royale. It doesn't make Ash look that dumb. Well, he still is. The Poké problem was brilliant, where he saw the mask in Kukui's washing and thought he was a fan of him too. Ah, the Sabrina vibes are real. Finally, for this story section though, we have the small nitpicks. Every episode has them. The only ones I have though, is that firstly Team Rocket felt useless. They serve no importance to the plot in my opinion, which they could have done. The comedy in the Battle Royale was meh. And finally, we of course have this. But with all of these nitpicks combined, I'm not gonna knock down too many points due to understanding what the anime creators were going for. You know what though? Originally before this episode aired though, I did wish that we saw the Battle Royale earlier, so that would have been a nitpick too. However, because the anime creators wanted Rockruff to evolve on Akala Island, I guess it makes sense that they didn't show the Battle Royale as they wanted to make this story with Litten, so they had to spread out the evolutions or things would feel rushed. So I appreciate you not putting it in earlier simply because of that reason. Thought I'll just say that to you guys too. But anyway, with my final thoughts on my story finally said, let's now move on to the animation and music aspects of this episode. Firstly, for the animation, my favourite highlights have to be firstly, like I said earlier, the Z move, for now at least. I love the fluid movements within the Pokemon, Flame Charge was beautiful to look at, the camera angles were shot amazingly, even making Ash look like a badass at times too. And finally, the attention to detail with everything else was fantastic, such as for example, how they animate Torracat's tail even when it's not going for an attack. Moving on to the music aspects though, once again, the music was fantastic in this episode, my favourite highlights being firstly, the tune that played during the Battle Royale. It wasn't the actual Battle Royale music though. The Unova Pokemon League music just always seems to fit whenever the anime uses it, and of course it was nice to listen to, even if overused. And finally, the Sun and Moon champion theme when Ash battles for Masquerade for the second time was awesome. I love the tune so much. To see it in the anime finally was just With everything I've said in this video though, I've decided to give this episode a rating of 9 out of 10. It was as lit as a Litten. Hey, I brought the quote back. Although it would have to be a Torracat now. Regardless, hopefully you can respect my opinion and rating on this episode. I loved it so much. In fact, let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts on this episode are. I'd love to hear. But regardless of that pretty much wraps up for this video now. So if you enjoyed, then be sure to leave a like and a subscribe for future Pokemon content. It helps out a ton. For now, this is Entity Maze, signing out. Thank you for watching.